Okay, this is the Parkersburg City Council meeting for August 26th, 2025, getting ready to start shortly. There are two items on the agenda. The first item is a message from the executive appointing John Reed as an alternate member to the Building Code Appeals Board and appointing Luke Peters for a one-year term as a second alternate member to the same board. The second item on the agenda is a resolution amending City Council's rules and regulations, stating that any item placed on the City Council agenda for discussion only should require at least 5 City Council members as sponsors. Currently, the rules require only 3 City Council members to sponsor. We got a pretty full council audience tonight. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call this meeting of the Parkersburg City Council to order. Madam Clerk, the roll call, please.
Mr. McCready.
Here.
Ms. Kuhl. Here. Mr. Brown.
Present.
Ms. Tuck. Here. Mr. Huffman.
Here.
Mr. Rexroad.
Here.
Mr. Wolkowski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Reynolds.
Present. Council, the minutes of the 12 August meeting have been presented to you. Do you have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes will be adopted as presented. Do we have any reports from standing or special committees tonight?
Mr. President,
Mrs. Kuhl?
I'd like to give a brief update on the Southwood project. I cannot say that much about it, but I'm going to give it to you as brief as I can because we really don't want some of this out. We've had 2 meetings. Since we had 2 meetings, we have rescued 5 kittens. The first time, one of the cats was reformed due to interbreeding, but they were taken to Southwood Animal Clinic and cleared. They were not even weaned yet, but the lady that has them is weaning them, and she will be keeping these cats. We have rehomed 2 cats, and last night we caught 2 more cats, kittens. We're working on the kittens first because their chance of survival is very slim over there. So we're working on kittens there. We have phase 2 of our plan. The reason we do not want to give out, and I'll just flat out tell you, any information about our plan that we have is because a week and a half ago, a lady dropped off 10 cats. Unfortunately, she got away from me before I could get her license plate number. So we do not want people dropping off cats just so we, Save the Kitty, can pay to have them neutered and fixed. We have identified 30 cats in one area, and we have identified really close to 60 in another area, but we are working on it. We estimate that this time frame for what we want to do to at least just get a handle on it is very, very well. We've got a great committee, and I do want to give a shout out to all of us for Save the Kitty and Jessica Norshapal and Kim Adams, because, and then Rob Moore, he's also on the committee. We're working great together, and we're solving problems, and there's going to be some legislations will be brought forward here in the next city council meeting that we have to pass to save the kitty, so that they can literally trap cats without being arrested, not by our department, by DNR. So I have that forthcoming legislation coming, but the committee is working great together, and we were at the park last night from 6:30 until 11:15. The gentleman that was causing the problems over there by feeding the cats, thank you, Parkersburg Police Department. We had one officer that stopped by and said, "What can I do to help?" And he went over and spoke with the gentleman. Very nice. There was no yelling, there was nothing, no threat. And this gentleman has agreed to stop feeding the cats whenever we need him to do that. Before that, he wasn't. So we are making progress. It's a lot faster than we actually really thought it was going. But people have been asking me about, what the committee's on. We are meeting again next Thursday. It is an open meeting. The only thing we ask, if you do come to the meeting, whatever is said in the meeting goes nowhere else, because we will know where it comes from. And this has got to be kept very secretive until we get the plan into action as far as what we are going to do. So that's the update, Mr. President.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody else on council have reports from standing or special committees tonight? Hearing none, we will move on to public forum. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for the public forum?
Looks like we do, sir.
Our public forum is 40 minutes in length. We have several people, maybe more than 12. We may not get to everybody, but we will try to get to everybody that signed up. Our public forum is 40 minutes in length. Each speaker will receive up to 4 minutes to speak. And we ask that there's no slanderous or boisterous remarks. And public forum is now open.
Looks like the first one is Julia Monroe, followed by Cole Morningstar.
I'm just speaking on resolution 2. We shouldn't be making it harder for people to get ideas on council. I understand that it's typically a 6-3 vote. We should be making it easier, because there's some times where there's things that happen in 2 districts, and it's very hard to get some of you to talk to each other. And we need to be making it, keeping it at 3. That's way more ideas get presented rather than just the majority. Remember, we're a republic, we're not a democracy. Individual rights still pertain, and we need to have open ideas. And that's all.
Next, we have Mr. Morningstar, followed by Lisa Tallarico.
How you guys doing? My agenda item is number 2. The resolution to me raises a few concerns for the required issue to bring the sponsorship from 3 o'clock, correct? Okay. Sorry, I'm not not to fall caught up. I just seen those things. So, the issues to me is number one, that fewer voices will be heard. Raising the sponsorship requirement makes it much harder for important issues, especially citizen-led issues, to make it onto the agenda. I work full-time for the Washington County Behavioral Health Board, and then I just started my own nonprofit in the Ohio Valley area. And one thing that I do understand about board members and working on them is that most of the time there may be 15 board members, and what happens is the concentrated issues leave about 4 people to really control the room, in my opinion. And I think that just raises concerns when it goes from 3 to 5, especially when citizens like tonight, how I see on Facebook, a lot of citizens in Parkersburg are concerned. And I don't know, that's just kind of what brought me out tonight. I think it also raises the issue on public confidence. I feel like at a time right now, when we need it the most on smaller issues from local government, it kind of sends a wrong message to raise it, and that's just my opinion. I'm not really here to pick sides on anything. I really just want, I don't know, everybody to understand everybody's reasoning on each side of the issue. I don't think the resolution is a small change. I think it's a big one. And I also think that I want to speak directly to the citizens in the room, honestly. I think that anytime you guys...
Sir, just keep your remarks to me. Safe.
Okay, that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Next we have Elise Tallarico, 10th Avenue, followed by Colton Tallarico, 10th Avenue.
Hi, I'm Alize Tallarico. Today I'm speaking on behalf of someone that's close to me, my mother-in-law. Dear council members, my name is Carrie Tallarico. I cannot be present tonight due to illness, but I'm asking you to vote no on Resolution 2. Many of you have worked with me on the Young Voices event we held together, an event designed to cultivate a love for our city, encourage engagement with local government, and empower the next generation to use their voices. That event represented the heart of what our community should be: open, transparent, and connected. Since then, however, we have seen efforts to remove or restrict public input. First, the council forum, then attempts to remove or rearrange the public forum, and ultimately the removal of non-agenda items altogether. During those debates, many of you assured the public that their right to speak would be protected. You promised that if someone had an issue, their voice would still be heard. Now, with Resolution 2, those voices are being threatened again. I've been told this is a business meeting, and that our rights aren't being infringed upon. But as Attorney Mr. Myers clarified, government cannot be considered a business. Our council meetings are for the people and should remain accessible to the people. Transparency, education, and communication are the foundations of growth. They are how we build a stronger city together. As a conservative Republican, I believe in respectful dialogue. I can hold a conversation, debates, and even disagreements without compromising my values. That's what makes democracy work. Different voices coming together to find common ground. I understand that when the majority on council shares similar views, it might seem easier to control the narrative. But please remember, power shifts. The rules you set today will affect you tomorrow. If you silence voices now, one day your voice may be silenced too. By passing Resolution 2, we risk losing the beautiful voices of our community. The children, the young men and women, and residents like myself who bring forward ideas, programs, and solutions that benefit our city, like the Young Voices Initiative. Please stand for the people you represent. Be more than political cliques and power plays. Be the leaders who protect free speech and value transparency. Vote no on Resolution 2. Thank you.
Next we have Colton Tallarico, 10th Avenue, followed by Michelle Adkins, 10th Avenue.
Hello, my name is Colton Tallarico. Some of you may know me from the Young Voices event, the one that was meant to inspire pride in our city, trust in our government, and confidence that our voices matter. But tonight, I'm here because that trust has been broken. When we began limiting our free speech, starting with public forum, and now pushing it even further with Resolution 2, we didn't solve the problem, we created one. You took away the people's voice, and in doing so, you lit a fire. And when people feel silenced, their concerns are ignored. And when their concerns are ignored, that fire only grows. Some here tonight are angry, rightfully angry, because the very leaders who should represent us are instead trying to silence us. Let me make this crystal clear. You work for us. Your power is not your own. It comes from the people of Parkersburg. You cannot lead a community if you refuse to listen to it. We are not here to cause chaos. We are here to be heard. So I'm asking you, no, I'm demanding that you do the right thing. Give us our voice back. Let me know on resolution 2, because if you choose not to, if you continue down this path, understand this, the people will not forget and the people will not be silent. You are not Parkersburg. We are Parkersburg. Hear us or step down.
Next is Michelle Adkins, 10th Avenue, followed by Christina Anderson.
Free my voice. Vote no for resolution 2.
Next, Christina Anderson, 10th Avenue, followed by Chris Whitcomb.
My name is Christina Anderson. I'm in District 2. And I have been a registered voter in this county since 1978. Might be some people here older than me that have that longer, but I have never failed to vote. Okay? I am a patriot, born and bred. I have members of my family that have served in every single branch, including the Merchant Marines way back when. We are very patriotic. We are for this country. We love this country. I love this town. Voting on this resolution is yet again taking away our voice. Oh gee, freedom of speech, go on. Okay, that's not right. The next steps after that, are you really trying to send us into communism and take it away, starting with our free speech? Because that's how it starts. That's exactly how it starts. And this is a republic and a free country. It is not communist. It is not socialist. So, go ahead. Say yes to this. Break the law. Break federal law on freedom of speech. Go for it. See what happens.
Chris Whitcomb, 7th Street, followed by Brian Hayden.
Good evening. My name is Chris Whitcomb, 225 7th Street. Tonight, this council is considering a resolution to add additional 2 council members to filter out in the hopes of a consensus and building a general consensus is my understanding. But ultimately what we're doing, we're already at 3 council members having to figure an issue out for each of their own districts. That how would we increase it to 5 and get better results from this? And the discussion isn't the solutions. The solution should be something of bringing to the form a public availability so that the public can see what are you bringing to the forum, what agenda items have not been allowed to be on the, so at least they can see what each of their districts respective people are working on. So at least that there is confidence, because right now we have a huge gap in this. There is a lack of confidence, and this isn't helping it at all. This has created a situation now where it's impacted it, and now not only is it the people that's screaming, but it should be our fellow councilmen screaming as well. You guys are severely limited. How can you convince 4 other councilmen that your problem in your district is their problem? That's all I'm saying.
Brian Hayden.
The rules of regulations for Parkersburg City Council, as last amended March 2025, state that this council adopted and follows Robert's Rules of Order. Having spent a significant amount of time reading and studying these rules, I have learned much about parliamentary procedure. I have learned that, like the U.S. Constitution and Parkersburg City Charter, these rules and laws are not only designed to maintain order and discipline, they are designed to limit individual leaders from overreach and oppression of the people. Robert's Rules of Order protect minority rights by ensuring members' rights to be heard, the right to express their viewpoints, and the right to a full and free debate. Even while the majority's decision may prevail, these fundamental protections guarantee that the minority can voice their opinions and ideas for consideration, fostering a more inclusive decision-making process despite the ultimate decision made by a majority vote. By changing Rule number 4 and requiring an absolute majority of the council sponsorship for a simple discussion-only item violates the intent of parliamentary procedure. What you are voting on tonight is tantamount to a tyrannical act of oppression. These are laws and rules. These are not scriptures that you can cherry pick from to advance a personal agenda. We, the people of Parkersburg, have borne witness to the continued ignoring of decorum and rules by members and non-members of this administration. Changes to these rules to further oppress representation of the citizens of this city will lead to consequences that you have not considered and that others have spoken to tonight.
Next we have, I believe it's Cassie, Pedrehen, Vaughn Avenue, followed by Jamie McCord.
Hello, my name is Casey Pedrehen. I'm a lifelong resident of Parkersburg. I was born and raised here. I made the choice to move back here, to raise my family here, to buy a home and invest in this community. I'm speaking tonight, respectfully but firmly, about the new rule requiring 5 council members to sponsor an agenda item before it can be considered. While it may seem procedural, the implications for transparency and public trust are serious. The timing of this rule appears reactionary, following renewed interest in the privatization of sanitation. This topic deserves open discussion, not avoidance through a technicality. Let me be clear, changing the rules midstream to limit conversation doesn't build trust, it breaks it. According to the Parkersburg City Charter, section 2.104, council is required to operate with fairness, transparency, and procedural consistency. Changing sponsorship thresholds in response to public interest undermines the charter's intent. Just this past January, this council unanimously voted that once an agenda item is sponsored and posted, it cannot be withdrawn. And City Attorney Blaine Myers said clearly, once you have something on your agenda, it stays on the agenda. And the same principle should apply now. Residents are paying attention. We see the items removed, comment periods restricted. We see the sponsorship bar raised, not to improve governance, but to avoid conversations that some find uncomfortable. And to the council, I say this, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like the conversation, but you do have a duty to hear it. That's the role of public office, not to gatekeep in silence, but to serve. I respectfully urge this council to reject the 5 sponsor requirement and uphold democratic principles. Choose transparency over control. Choose accountability over avoidance. Thank you.
Next we have Jamie McCormick, Central Avenue, followed by Kathy Whitlatch.
Jamie McCormick, District 9. Mr. President and fellow council members and members of the public, I rise today in opposing Resolution 2. This proposal would require at least 5 council members to sponsor an item before it can even be placed on the agenda. This might be convenient for you, but in reality it silences voices. It prevents individual council members from raising issues on behalf of the people they represent. And it hands power over to a select few instead of keeping government open and democratic. Every resident deserves to have their concerns heard, whether it's about sidewalks, schools, or sanitation. Speaking of sanitation, where's the transparency on that? Rumor has it that Rumpke will be handling recycling. Why isn't anything, something so important being openly discussed here with the public? We deserve accountability. And let me point out an obvious, my trash wasn't even picked up today. So of course, we aren't talking about that. Instead of rolling up our sleeves, getting to work on the real issues, this is what we're focusing on, silencing the very folks who pay you. To any council member who thinks they can restrict voices, and one day run for mayor without being held accountable, think again. The people of Parkersburg are watching, and we will not forget this. And to my neighbors, I encourage you to step up, run for office, make your voice heard. I will do the same because the city belongs to all of us. I urge my colleagues to vote no on Resolution 2, and instead support rules that expand access, not restrict it. Let's keep Parkersburg's government open, transparent, and accountable to the people. Thank you.
Kathy Whitlatch, 19th Street, followed by Rodney Bell.
I have researched responsibility of public Parkersburg City Council members. One duty is to listen and to address the concerns of the constituents, representing the need of the city's diverse population. You have already silenced your constituents by limiting what they can say during public forum and how long they can speak. They can only address what is on the agenda. To get on the agenda, it needs to be sponsored by 3 council members. Now, council wants it to increase the number of sponsors to 5. I don't understand why you are here if you can't take the time for public forum and want to limit and silence the voices of concerned citizens by making it even harder to hear the concerns of the different districts. You represent different districts that may have concerns that don't affect other districts. You would have to get 4 other council members to agree to hear the concerns of the citizens of your district. It seems to me that the council has been divided, and some on council just look one way, afraid of going against those in power. You must remember who elected you. It was not the administration, and council should not be controlled by those who have been in their positions for a long time. Just bringing up items that are more towards the middle, as stated by council president in the newspaper, limits the concerns of the people of Parkersburg. Only 2 items have been placed on the agenda for discussion purposes only since March. So why is this change even necessary at this time? In another quote from the newspaper, council president said that there has been attempts by some council members to place items on the agenda that didn't make sense. Example being, it would be premature to discuss privatizing the sanitation without having any proposals. I disagree. It would be better to inform the people who pay for the service what is being looked at before getting proposals. Their concerns through public forum should be addressed before looking at proposals. For example, how many containers? Will they pick up yard trash? Or are they going to pick up large furniture? I mean, you're looking at proposals, you have no idea. There needs to be more discussion before looking at proposals. What happens is proposals are collected, and by the time it is released to the public, decisions have been made. Usually 6 of the 9 councilpersons have already decided how to vote without listening to the people. They will listen to the people standing here like me, but there will be no two-way discussion. A public forum in the context of free speech is a place where people can gather to express their views and engage in public debate. Instead of limiting what can be said, wouldn't it be better if it included a two-way communication if needed? Maybe we need a resolution to allow council to respond to speakers in the public forum with questions and answers. This is a reminder why you were elected, to represent all, not just the ones you want to listen to.
The last speaker is Rodney Bell, 36th Street.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on Resolution 2, which would require 5 council members to put forth an item for the public city council meeting. Resolution 2 is heinous, un-American, and quite frankly tyrannical in nature and discriminatory. It allows the majority to silence the minority, while most believe in majority rule. The United States Constitution was written to protect the rights and voices of the few, something that the current administration doesn't seem to concern itself with. In fact, the number 1 job of government is to protect the rights of the individual and the minorities. Imagine 2 or even 4 districts in Parkersburg were mostly 1 or 2 racial minorities. This agenda would conceivably take away their voices. You currently have taxation without representation, with the user fee being charged to those that don't reside in the city. You have disallowed all the people's voices by reducing the finance committee to 5 council members. You steal people's properties without a shred of remorse because it suits you.
I guess now you want to cease representing all of the people of Parkersburg by not allowing everyone to be heard. Where Parkersburg used to care about all of its people, it now only seems concerned with the agenda of a few. It sickens me to see what Parkersburg is becoming under its current leadership. You, the members of this council, should think long and hard about how you stuck in on a large number of the people that you're supposed to represent. Please vote no on Resolution 2. Thank you.
That's all we have, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll close public forum at this time, and we'll move on to the message from the executive. Mr. Myers, do you have anything tonight?
I believe the mayor may be participating by phone, but I'm not aware of any message other than the appointments.
Madam Clerk, is the mayor joining us by phone?
Not that I know of, sir.
He didn't tell me that either, so we'll move on. Do you want to read a communication, Madam
Yes,
Clerk?
sir. We have a communication from Mayor Tom Joyce appointing Mr. John Reed, Fairview Avenue, as an alternate member of the Building Code Appeals Board for a 2-year term through August of 2027, and appointing Lee Peters, 26th Street, for a 1-year term as the second alternate member to that same board. And this is to receive and file.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir, Mr. Richard.
Move to receive and file.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions regarding the receipt and file? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Ms. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck? Mr. Huffman?
Yes.
Mr. Rexroad?
Yes.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, it has been received and filed. Resolution, please.
A resolution amending City Council Rules and Regulations Number 4, Agenda, Paragraph C, Sponsors, stating that any item placed on the City Council agenda for discussion only shall require at least 5 council members as sponsors.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir. Mr. Borkowski.
I move for adoption of the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions from council?
Mr. President,
Mrs. Kuhl?
I'd like to make an amendment to this resolution. I'd like to, instead of requiring 5 council members, to require 4 for discussion.
And this is just for discussion, correct? All other things would be 3 still.
The other ones would still remain as 3. This is just for discussion only, 4 council members.
Second.
The amendment has, Mrs. Kuhl's motion to amend would be to change the number of council people to 4. We have a second. Do we have any questions on the amendment? Okay, could we get the vote on, Mrs. Tuck, did you have something you wanted to say before we vote on the amendment?
We have to proceed with the amendment before anything else.
Madam Clerk, the vote on the amendment?
Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Ms. Kuhl?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Tuck? Mr. Huffman?
Yes.
Mr. Rexroad?
No.
Mr. Borkowski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes. Amendment passes. Now, can we get the vote as amended? Mrs. Tuck?
I would like to request for information. I rise, Mr. President, I rise to a request for information from
Well, you're pushing on it and talking in your everyone.
Thank you. Is this better? Yes, thank you. I rise to a request for information.
Okay. What's your request?
Through the chair, I ask the clerk, was this resolution submitted before the 4:30 Tuesday, August 19, 2024 deadline?
Okay, you're asking the clerk if it was submitted before 4:30 on the deadline.
Correct. I'm asking the chair to work on the information. No, ma'am.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I also rise for a request for parliamentary inquiry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I asked the city attorney.
Sorry.
Thank you. The attorney, is this resolution in compliance with the deadline for submission to this city council meeting?
The rules require, as I understand it, items to be submitted by 4:30 on Tuesday preceding council.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion to postpone the resolution until the time when it has been properly submitted.
Second.
Mr. President,
Mrs. Kuhl?
I have a question for Mr. Myers.
Sure.
Is it not the discretion of the council president? Sorry, I did the same thing as Wendy did, I apologize. I just said it's pushing my back. Is it not the discretion of the city council president, as long as the agenda is not printed, to add an item to the council agenda? I know it's been done in the past. As long as it's like Wednesday, by 4:30.
Rules are intended to govern how matters operate. The president of the council has a lot of discretion in a lot of areas. We can't write down every scenario. I can tell you what the rule says, and I just heard that it wasn't submitted by the 4:30 deadline. You're telling me, and I'm not aware of one way or the other, you're telling me it's happened before, the items were submitted late. And I know that the agenda isn't actually published usually until Wednesday or Thursday, so that once the public is aware of what's on there, it should stay. Whether or not the president has discretion to take matters off the agenda or put matters on the agenda after the 4:30 deadline, I think it's up to you, meaning not you individually, but you collectively as a council to determine.
Point of inquiry, or parliamentary inquiry for the attorney? Mr. Myers, the regulations state that the agenda items must be submitted by 4:30 on Tuesday afternoon, correct?
That's what it says.
Okay, that's what it says. So anything that is not in the clerk's hands by 4:30 on Tuesday afternoon is not in compliance, is that correct?
It would not be in compliance with that specific written rule, that's correct. It wasn't in
Thank
the
you.
clerk's hand.
So the motion is to postpone the resolution until the time when it is in compliance and has been properly submitted.
That's your motion?
Yes.
Do you have a second for that motion? Second. So we have a motion.
Mr. President,
Mrs. Kuhl?
I have another question. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand this. We made a rule, we passed it, that you had up until the time that the agenda is printed to withdraw any sponsorship. I do know in the past, and if it was wrong, I wasn't president then, by the way, but if it was wrong, we really need to know this. When something else came up that absolutely had to be on this agenda, okay, which sometimes that happens, and we have put it on there. Are you saying that those items, in your opinion, okay, according to the rule, they should not have been done that way? Even though it was for the betterment of our city?
I'm not saying that. I've been asked questions as to what the rule stated, and I understand what the rule states, and I've been told when this resolution arrived in the hands of the city clerk. You described, you've been on council longer than this, my last stint as city attorney, you're probably more familiar and other members of council than I, that there may have been some discretion members wanted to put an ordinance or a resolution on the agenda, and we had a major power outage. We had no email communication, fax machine doesn't work. I can't even use our phone sometimes when the electric's on. So I don't know how maybe you can walk in Connie's office and give her something, but basically, and so the president might say, well, under these circumstances, I'm going to extend the deadline for another 24 hours. Now, one could look at the rule, because it says shall by 4:30 on Tuesday. One could look at the rule and say, you know, that does not specifically comply with the rule, which it doesn't. Now, I think most of us, applying some common sense, would say, under the unique circumstances that I described, I don't think anyone would object to a reasonable extension that doesn't adversely affect any rights of the members of the council or the public. Now, whether or not this scenario or circumstance meets that kind of gray area, common sense exception, I don't know. That's up to you all. As I've spoken with some of you about this matter, all I do is give my advice and opinion. I can't tell any of you what to do.
Exactly.
So that's
One more question. Just so everyone knows. What is the repercussion with this being on the agenda, because it was put on the agenda on Wednesday? What is the repercussions that can be taken? I want everyone to know this so that there's no fine line or anything. That can be taken against council if we went on with this resolution tonight.
I don't know of any reasonable repercussions. This body, legislative body, has the right to conduct its own business, and as long as you don't violate specific statutes or laws, I don't see any repercussions from that.
Does this violate any of that?
Well, in my opinion,
Thank you.
you as council have the right to promulgate reasonable orders and have reasonable construction, interpretation, and function on the reason.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
We have rules for a reason, and we have done a lot of hard work to determine when these agenda items have to be in, and if they're not in by that time, they come in at the next meeting. We have rules that we can, by unanimous vote, suspend this rule, so matters of urgency. We have done that in the past. When we have a unanimous vote, it's an urgent thing, we can suspend the rule. This is not urgent, but I highly think that if we begin to fudge the rules and say, well, it doesn't matter, or there's no consequences, we are going down a really dangerous slope that, why have rules? Why have rules for any of them?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all of that because I was interrupted by someone other than on the dais.
I agree. I mean, we have a process. We put the rules in place for reasons, so that we have an orderly, functional council, and so that public knows what's going on when. So the rule is that it's in council by 4:30 on Tuesday, 1 week prior to the regular council meeting, where the clerk prepares the calendar. Now, we have gone into long debate about when people can withdraw their sponsorship. They can withdraw their sponsorship anytime up to Thursday. There is no provision in these rules for adding when an agenda item can be added after that 4:30 deadline. We do have this unanimous vote to suspend that rule in case
Is your
there's an
question,
emergency.
you're debating me, and I haven't made a statement.
My
of
question
ruling.
would be, why have rules if we're not going to follow them?
That's up to you folks to determine.
Sure.
Okay, so right now we have a motion. Mrs. Tuck has a motion to postpone and a second. So I think what I need to do is call for the vote on that. And a yes vote is going to be voting in favor of postponing it. 5 anyway. If we get 5 yes, then we will postpone it. If we don't, then we will call for the vote on the original